Namaste, welcome family and friends. Thank you for joining us. Today's video, we're going to look at the pronunciation of the Sanskrit letters that you've been practicing previously with the chakras. So let us share the Shanti mantra together. Take a breath in. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavid Tamastumavit Vishavahe Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And as you exhale, release the pose. The pronunciation of Sanskrit is very straightforward, easy to understand, but takes time to practice. So the alphabet is categorized into different groupings depending on how you pronounce the consonant or the vowel. Now, there's really cool things, energetics about these consonants, and it's also described in Tantra Yoga, and we're going to get into that later on. But let's keep our focus really narrow now and just learn the alphabet. So here's Joe. Let's call him Joe. So this is a guy named Joe. Here we have the eye, the nose, the lips, the tongue. This is the upper palate of the mouth. And here we start coming into the throat with this trachea. The first grouping of consonants are the guttural groupings. G for guttural. That means here in the throat is where we make those sounds. The consonants are ka, kaha, ga, gaha, nya. So if you look on the PDF 2, you'll see, I think it's in yellow and black, there's an image of the alphabet. In the very first category of consonants are the gutturals. Starts with K, ka, ga, 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 na. It's also reminiscent, if you go back to your chakra practice, of the Anahata chakra. The cerebral are pronounced here in the back of the throat, but on the upper palate. So that's where we try to pronounce those sounds. And that is the cha, chaha, ja, jaha, nya. Remember those? It was CH, JA in the aspirants with another nasal nya. So that is the cerebral. Then we have the palatal, or palatal. So these are the sounds da, daha, ta, taha, na. All right? Remember, it was a little mixed up in saying the letters because there are two DAs and there's two TAs in the aspirants. One is palatal and one is dental, where we put our tongue behind our teeth. So there's a difference between ta, where I'm pronouncing it with a palatal, and ta, where my tongue is touching the back of the front teeth. That's dental. Ta, dental, ta, palatal. And I notice with Indian speakers, sometimes they have problems in English saying ta, tam, tuni, different T words because they're used to using the palatal rather than the dental, and they don't know which one to use for the proper pronunciation in English. Just like English speakers, we look at this and we go, I don't even hear the difference. So don't worry, maybe depending on your linguistic ability, Your ear is not refined enough to hear the difference. But you know what is the cool thing about Sanskrit and about using it in mantras is that if we have the intent and we know where we're pronouncing it, even if I can't hear the difference and a speaker next to me cannot hear the difference, I know that that resonance of my pronunciation is palatal. Even if it doesn't sound like it, I know that that's my intent. One of the links that I have for you in the PDF file, and again, I will also put it in the description part of this YouTube. There's a wonderful teacher. His name is Simon. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he says that understanding the proper pronunciation of Sanskrit removes our obstacles to understanding and knowledge. It removes the obstacles to understanding and knowledge. So even if we're not doing it correctly, even if a speaker next to us is not understanding, the very fact that we have the intent and focus of proper pronunciation and where in the throat and mouth to pronounce it means that we are removing those obstacles, maybe the hidden obstacles, if we're talking about the subtle energy body, we're removing them so that we can feel that proper resonance, even if it doesn't sound like it. So, guttural starts with the KA sound. And it might be easier if you pull up the PDF file and you're looking at it while I'm talking. The guttural sound starts with the K, KA. Cerebral starts with the C, cha, CH sound. Palatal starts with the ta, TA sound. Dental, where the tongue is behind the teeth, also starts with TA, but notice how it's written differently. And again, this is what is so cool. So when you're reading mantras, you have the script in front of you and you're trying to figure out, how do I pronounce it? Because in English, it just says TA. I don't know which TA they're talking about. Well, now you do, because you've learned the Sanskrit alphabet and you can make that proper choice of ta or ta. We then have the labials. Now, labials are the sounds. So the labials will be the pa, paha, bum, bahum, mum. We also have something called the semi-vowels. The semi-vowels are ya, rum, yum, and lum. Those are called semi-vowels. Again, this should be in your PDF file in that image in yellow and black. The sibilants, remember when we were talking about the Muladhara chakra with the shum, shum, sum? Okay, there you go. Those are the sibilants. And what's so really cool is that when you can read Sanskrit, you don't need to guess if it's a sa or sha. And even here, the sha and sha are pronounced a little bit differently. One is cerebral and one is palatal. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but for now, just know that those are the sibilants. The aspirants are hum and kasham. Remember the previous video on the Ajna chakra had two petals. The two petals were the aspirant Sanskrit letters, hum and kasham. So this is a really nice chart to help you now bring more focus into your pronunciation. So as you're doing your chakra meditation, let's begin just with the bija sounds. So we know those bija sounds are the semi-vowels. Lum, bum, rum, yum, aspirant, hum, and then om for the Ajna chakra. Then as we look through the petals, the Vishuddhi chakra, remember, are all vowels. When we come to the Anahata chakra, we start with the guttural consonants. Ka, ga, 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 nya. It then moves into the cerebral and finishes with ka, taha. We then go on to the Manipura chakra and so on, and we go through these categories or groupings of consonants based on how they're pronounced. It's that simple and that direct. It takes time to learn, it takes practice. So remember we took 3 to 5 days to learn the bija mantras? and then maybe another 5 to 10 days to be really comfortable with the letters that correspond to the petals. So now let's take that knowledge and let's start the pronunciation as we go through our chakra meditation. So take your time. As my teacher always told me, practice to your capacity. Maybe that's 5 minutes, maybe that's 10 or 20 minutes a day. As you practice, it's going to become easier because there will be a muscle mind memory in terms of your script, and the memory and that vibration will become more and more refined as you go through your practice. So thank you very much. I'll see you in our next video. Let us share the pranava together. Take a breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Thank you. Namaste. And I'll see you in our next video.